Hey friends, welcome to another edition of A Reader and a Cinephile. November is upon us, which means this guy is getting ready to celebrate a birthday. While I won't dare say my age out loud, I will give you a hint. Everything on my body hurts. Happy guessing. With the dawn of a new month, I am back with two recommendations based on everything I read and watched in October. Last month was good to me. In October, I read three books, and thanks to the Seattle International Film Festival and their documentary fest, I watched 31 movies last month. So, without any more stalling, here are my recommendations. When I walk into a bookstore, I make two stops before hitting the aisles of shelves. Almost every bookstore I've ever been in has these sections. I first browse through the staff recommendations. I always want to see what other bookish people are reading. And then I make my way toward the bargain table. I stop here mostly because I'm a cheap bastard. But I've also found some of my favorite reads here. It was on this table at Elliott Bay Books in Seattle that I found Trespassing Across America by Ken Ilgunis. This book is Ken's recounting of his epic quest following the Keystone XL pipeline from Alberta, Canada to Texas. I chose this book for numerous reasons. As someone who once dreamed of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail, thanks for ruining that adventure, COVID, I'm always a sucker for a book focused on an epic quest. Secondly, this book caught my attention because of the route. As a kid born and raised in Oklahoma, I know the plains often go overlooked as nothing more than flyover country. I know from firsthand accounts that there is real beauty to be found on the plains if you know where to look. I've lived on the West Coast since 2011, but nothing compares to a rolling sunset or thunderstorms on the plains. Finally, this book piqued my interest because it followed an untraditional route. It's not the PCT, it's not the Appalachian Trail. Instead, Ken set his sights on the controversial Keystone XL pipeline. Over the course of Ken's 1,700-mile journey, he meets the people of the plains, spends a lot of time documenting the thoughts and opinions of people on both sides of the issue, reveals the true beauty of America's breadbasket, and hides from more than a few herds of cattle. Along the way, he also unveils the complexity of living in a region often overlooked, the economic promises attached to the pipeline, and the potential environmental impacts of such a project. While many might see Ken as an environmentalist, something I don't think is a bad thing, I see him as something so much more. I see him as a journalist and a documentarian on a mission to capture firsthand accounts. The journey he documents in this book made me miss Oklahoma, but also reminded me of all the reasons I left. For that reason, I cannot recommend this book enough. The word of the month is epic. While I saw many fantastic movies at SIF's Doc Fest this year, it is another epic movie that, on rewatch, stole the month from me. Kind of like last month, I'm going to reshare a review I wrote. This is Gladiator. Gladiator is a work of historical fiction. To tell its story, it often invents characters, combines stories, and portrays the speed of political change. This is important to understand from the outset. While this film never claims to be based on a true story, I often see this movie panned for being a work of imagination based on actual characters and historical events. In my estimation, if you understand this reality from the outset, this becomes a story with a powerful and profound message. The first thing that strikes me about this film is the scale. Rome spilled blood from northern Europe to the sands of Africa to the Atlantic Ocean to the far reaches of the Middle East. The lengths and size of its conquest are incomprehensible to me. In a world of nation states, its empire baffles my mind. How it expressed its power and wealth with massive projects such as the Colosseum is the definition of opulent and excessive. Second, after years of expansion and imperial rule, a dying Marcus Aurelius, played by Richard Harris, longs for Rome to return to democratic rule as a republic. To achieve this aim, he looks to his loyal general, Maximus, played by Russell Crowe, to oversee the transition. Maximus is more than a general, he is a son, or at least the son Marcus Aurelius wishes he had. Sadly, these plans never come to fruition because the allure of absolute power is a compromising truth too hard to ignore. Communist, played by Joaquin Phoenix, Marcus Aurelius's actual son, after learning of his father's decision, betrays his father and buries any idea of democracy by ordering the death of Maximus. If Maximus cannot see the wishes of a dying man through, he can at least push home and return to his wife and son. This hope becomes a mission statement. It serves as inspiration to escape death and ride home as quickly as possible. What he discovers when he arrives home changes the whole course of this film. Stolen into slavery, Maximus's fate becomes that of a warrior and a gladiator, serving the gluttonous and fatted calf that is Rome. Before Maximus are two choices. The first is apathy, leading to death. The second is an opportunity to lead an uprising that will bring him to Rome to face the man who stole everything from him. With a little motivation, he becomes solely focused on revenge. The third and final thing that strikes me about this film is the fragility of democracy. If we ordinary people represent the mob, we represent a powerful political force. When we feel secure and as if better days are before us, then we will tolerate almost anything, like strangers killing each other for our entertainment inside the Colosseum. If we are not satisfied, emperors and senators elected to represent us fear our power. Representing opposing sides of this reality, this movie presents Commodus as power-hungry ruler, believing he is the father of Rome. On the other end stands Maximus with a desire to fulfill the dying wishes of an emperor and to return Rome to the people. For me, their interactions within the walls of the Colosseum are symbolic of the power struggle between authoritarianism and democracy. With each encounter, the pendulum swings closer toward the will of the people. As the last battle plays out, we witness the scale of Rome's power, the longing for change, and the sacrifice needed for that change. As the credits rolled, I again felt amazement to witness such a struggle so beautifully told. And those are my recommendations for the month. As always, I want to thank you for spending a few moments with me. If these reviews are helping you find new books and movies to love, I would love to hear from you. If you have recommendations to share, please sound off in the comments. And if you feel enticed to follow along by subscribing or clicking the follow button, I would be honored. Until next time, be good to each other.